Hey, what do you think of when I say the word cemetery? You probably think of spooks, Halloween, scariness. Those are all correct. Maybe even death, obviously. And you're probably asking, why is he even posing this question to me on this channel? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Wilmington has one of the largest and oldest historic cemeteries in North Carolina. And I think the information is pretty cool, so I thought I'd share it with you. So if you like cemeteries and a little bit of history, sit back. We're going to take a little stroll back to the Victorian era in Oakdale. I'll be right back. Hey everyone, I'm Bill Corbett with Port City Living. I'm a native real estate agent serving the greater Wilmington, North Carolina area. My channel is all about what it's like to live in the Wilmington area. And this video, I'm bringing you Victorian cemetery realness. Yes, it's a very odd topic, I know, but I think it's kind of cool and I think you'll like it. Oakdale is an historic cemetery located at 520 North 15th Street, right here in Wilmington, North Carolina, just blocks away from Carolina Heights. It's a neighborhood that I actually first purchased my home back in, well, way back in 2001. Oakdale is one of the oldest and largest cemeteries in the state, and it's known for its beautiful landscaping, historic monuments, and notable burials. The cemetery was created out of a response of overcrowded and unsanitary conditions at local urban church cemetery yards, as Wilmington at the time, back in the late 1800s, was one of the most populous cities in North Carolina, believe it or not. Oakdale Cemetery was established in 1852. One of its founding fathers was Dr. John de Rosset, a local physician and the first president of the Cemetery Corporation. And the original acreage that was purchased on this plot of land was 65 acres. Oh, and remember the name de Rosset? It's going to come up again shortly. It was designed as a rural cemetery with raised areas for burial and lower areas for walkways. This was a popular cemetery style design back in the Victorian age. The annex extension happened in 1945, and the memorial gardens were added in 1950, which increased the acreage from 65 to just under 100. And as time progressed and things changed, with the additions came a different style of cemetery. They went away from the Victorian raised beds, lowered walkways, to a more traditional, what we see nowadays, the lawn style grave. The original cemetery design featured winding paths with large, sweeping oak trees, ornate ironwork, and various types of graves and monuments. It's a peaceful and serene atmosphere, making it very popular with both historical exploration and contemplation. These types of cemeteries were designed as a place not only to remember loved ones, but also to gather together and stroll and, believe it or not, have picnics. The Victorians did it completely different than we do it nowadays. Notable burials at Oakdale Cemetery are some of the prominent figures of Wilmington's history, like politicians, military veterans, business leaders, and other notable individuals. It's a place of historical significance and offers an insight into the local history of Wilmington and the surrounding region. Check this out. Laid to rest here is little Annie de Rosset. She was the very first person to ever be buried in this incredible cemetery. And ironically, her father was the very first president of the cemetery. See, I told you this name was going to come up again. Another notable burial is that of newscaster David Brinkley. Mr. Brinkley was actually born and raised right here in Wilmington, North Carolina. And there's one more notable person. Well, at least he is to me. I have a special connection to Oakdale Cemetery, and it's because my great-grandfather, Dr. Colin Shaw, was buried right under this majestic oak tree back in 1948. So if you live in the area or you're just visiting and you want to know more about this magnificent cemetery, guided tours and events are offered that highlight its historical and cultural significance. These tours may focus on things like the Civil War, architecture, or notable figures that are buried in the cemetery. Now, of course, there is way more history and way more information about Oakdale than I gave you on this short video. But if you care to dive a little bit deeper, the link directly to Oakdale is below. Also, if you are visiting Wilmington and you want some things to do besides maybe tour cemetery, then there's another link below that takes you to a site where you can request my Wilmington activity guide. come check out Oakdale Cemetery when you get a chance. It is absolutely beautiful over here. I think you'll enjoy it. You can see these majestic oaks with the Spanish moss, and right now the blooming magnolias that are hovering over those at rest. Oakdale Cemetery. I'm William Corbett with Port City Living, and remember, if someone doesn't have a smile, give them yours. Here under this majestic oak. He was buried here back in bug. Great. You think spooks? Do you? Oh my God, my nose is itching. So if you like cemeteries, then you're gonna sit back and cemetery. Oakdale is an historic cemetery located right here in Wilmington, North Carolina, not too far from the neighborhood where I first bought my first home. First. How many times can I say first? I think it gives you a small example. I think it gives you a small taste of what cemeteries are all about.